All right. I'm Rachel McTier, and I'm here with Erica Lane. She is a teacher in the Audio, Video, Technology, and Film lab at Jefferson County High School. Okay, so Miss Lane, what is your title?
My title is teacher and PBIS coach. Um, that's about it. I'm a teacher and PBIS coach.
Okay. What type of degree is required for your position to teach in this lab?
I have a degree in technology education, which covers a pretty wide field, but it does incorporate the audio video program.
Now, is it just a bachelor's level, or can you get it in a master's? Or
Yeah, you can get a master's. My master's is actually in curriculum and instruction, and I'm currently pursuing a specialist in instructional technology.
okay. Now, what are your job responsibilities?
Well, my responsibilities are to teach video editing, filming. We study setting up studio lights, um, the audio aspect. We do a lot of work with a variety of microphones, some podcasting. So we do just about anything that relates to video production and audio production. Um, I also am required to sponsor what's called a CTSO, which is a Career and Technology Student Organization. And my CTSO is called Skills USA.
Okay.
It is in conjunction with the construction program. So our programs together are the Jefferson County Skills USA program. Our kids take the things that they are learning in our classes and they're able to compete at the region, state, and national level. Um, we also teach a lot of professionalism through Skills USA.
Okay.
They learn a lot of workplace skills and they get a lot of that experience in a lot of the competitions and events we do. For example, one of the biggest events that we've done that we haven't been able to participate in this year because of the pandemic, but there is a construction competition called the East Georgia Workforce Development Alliance, and it is sponsored by a lot of the local construction companies. One of the biggest sponsors is R.W. Allen Construction.
Okay.
And so, as these students are competing in the areas of welding, masonry, carpentry, electrical, and plumbing, my students, along with students from Burke County, Statesboro, and some of the Augusta area schools, we actually put on a live broadcast of the competition so that schools can tune in and see how the guys are competing in construction. And so that's one of the biggest hands-on jobs that my kids get to participate in. They get the opportunity to work with a lot of industry people will come out, people from the news stations, and working with students from other schools. So they kind of get to teach each other some things. They learn from each other, and it's strictly student-led. The instructors are there to kind of supervise, but the students do all of the work from helping set up the cameras and everything the day before, set up all of the wiring that's required for the live broadcast. And then we get in early enough to start the broadcast by the time the competition actually begins.
Okay. That's really cool. Now, how are you meeting the needs of faculty and staff, or are you able to meet the needs of any faculty and staff during this transition of remote learning?
hmm Yeah, well, we do a variety of things. Personally, when we began our remote learning, myself, along with Miss Standard, our media specialist, we took on a lot of responsibility to be sure that teachers were familiar with Google Classroom, setting up and maneuvering Google Classroom. It's been one of the requirements from our administrators that we do have some instructional videos posted in our Google Classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the initiative to train teachers who needed the assistance in using Screencastify so that
Okay.
they could record themselves and also project lessons within their recordings. So that's one of the ways that I've been able to meet the needs of teachers in the building. Outside of the remote learning, just in general, as we have different things happening in the school that can incorporate our video program, then I do allow the kids to participate. For example, we've been really big on trying to get a live stream up and going for our athletic department. And we started about 2 years ago. There have been some hiccups along the way, but this year has been the best year. And I think we really pushed this year, just knowing that there would be so many restrictions as far as people attending a lot of our sporting events. So this year was the biggest live stream that we've had for our football season.
Okay.
We were able to incorporate Coach McGahee at the middle school, as well as our principal, Dr. Mack, here at the high school. They took on the responsibility of broadcasting, giving play-by-play broadcasts of the football games. We were even able to take our show on the road a couple of times. Since then, we've done some live streaming of basketball. We just started our baseball season, and we did live stream our opening baseball game.
Okay.
We've live streamed our softball signing day, as well as our football signing day, where our kids sign scholarships to attend college. And right now we are preparing for the prom. We'll have a pretty big live broadcast of the prom. And we'll also live stream Honors Day and our graduation. Those are two big live streams that we've put on in the past also. Currently, the one act team is producing their play. They're performing their play, Clue. So it won't be a live broadcast. It'll be a recording. So a couple of kids will work with Miss Westbrook to record tonight's performance, just so that they can have a record of what they're doing.
Okay. So how are you meeting the needs of remote learning students?
Like I said, we've been really big on the Google Classroom and Screencastify. And I mentioned earlier that I am pursuing a specialist degree in instructional technology. So, I've been exposed to a lot of different technology tools that I can incorporate in my classes that I have shared with some of the faculty members who are comfortable. Not everyone's been comfortable with, the push to use technology, but those who are comfortable and they've been looking for different ways to keep students engaged, then I've helped them incorporate things such as Flipgrid, where you may not have kids who can log on every time you're logging on to Google Meet to have class or whatever. Then Flipgrid is a way for them to still be able to post responses, and you can still actually see your kids, in the Flipgrid video. So that's been one tool that we've kind of pushed a little that's been successful. So I'm always exploring different things. But like I said, I do teach a video production, a film-based course. So as I do get the opportunity to venture out and do other things, but I always have to come back to our video editing software, which our main platform is Adobe Premiere Pro. Right now we've been using WeVideo because it's internet-based, and it's something that my students who are learning from home can use as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was really cool how you use Flipgrid a lot with your virtual kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of getting used to that program. It's a really good group.
It is.
So what are your typical daily activities for your job?
Oh, typical daily activities. Well, let's talk about today. Today, I am actually finalizing a video. So as we do school-related projects or projects for different teachers, I let the kids take on the majority of the responsibility. And, since we're on an A-B cohort schedule, I only have students 2 days. So I have my A kids on Monday and Tuesday. My B kids are Wednesday and Thursday, and nobody's here on Friday unless I really, really need you to come in and finish something. So as they start on these assignments, if they're not able to finish and we're under a time constraint, then I can pass it from an A day to a B day student, and then I'll take over and finish what they haven't been able to finish. So right now we have two pretty big projects going on that I'm finishing up for some students. We started with a Black History production that's been a school-wide production. So I've been meeting with some teachers this morning to finalize the video for that, and we hope to air that on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Those are also two things that my students are responsible for. We have our own Facebook page, which is called Warrior TV, which is where we push a lot of our live broadcasts, and also YouTube, which gives them a platform to share the work that they're doing. They can always go back to YouTube and show family and friends the things that they're working on in class. So I'm currently finishing up the Black History production, which is a school-wide production. And another thing that we are doing to prepare for eighth grade orientation, typically we have all eighth graders in the building on one night, and they are able to spend time with each of the teachers in our CTAE department.
Mm-hmm.
Our CTAE programs range from culinary arts to construction to agriculture, ROTC, marketing, and web design. And then there's my video program. And students won't have the opportunity to come in to see our programs this year because of the pandemic. So we thought it would be a good idea if we all created a little video to share what we do and how we do it. And everybody kind of had their own idea behind how they wanted to present their program. So they met with my students. They had to work with the students on creating a storyboard, which is kind of like a brainstorming template that allows the students to follow when they're creating the production. So the teachers work with the students on creating a storyboard. The students either collected video footage for the teacher, or the teacher provided video footage for them.
Okay.
And so we're finishing up. Hopefully today we'll have those finalized and sent over to the middle school so that on Monday they can share our CTAE programs with the eighth graders so that we can start planning their schedules for next school year. Aside from that, we have to test some equipment for the one act play tonight. So I have to get with the band teacher and the drama teacher, and I'll take a couple of cameras and a bunch of cables and memory cards and all that stuff over there. And we have to test some microphones. Be sure we have enough memory on memory cards and a couple of backups for storage and everything like that. So, and that'll pretty much be the end of my day. So typically that's how it works. We're working on some video projects. We're pulling out equipment, testing things. We're also testing equipment for prom to see if there's anything we need to order. That gives us maybe about 6 weeks to order anything and test new equipment and replace anything that we might need to before prom actually gets here. So that's pretty much it.
It's a busy schedule.
It is very busy, and God forbid something breaks. So now you have to include some troubleshooting in there also,
Man. Okay, well, you mentioned about maybe equipment, testing it out. So do you have a budget that you are able to control? And how do you make decisions on selecting those resources?
I don't actually have a budget that I control. Our CTAE director, who's also our department chairperson, Tammy Hodges, she's in charge of all of our budgeting. And because there's so many of us that have so many needs and consumable items for our programs, we're kind of on a rotation as of who gets to purchase what each school year. So she may not give us an exact budget in the beginning. She'll give us a spreadsheet and she'll say, hey, I need to know everything you need for this school year. And she'll compare our needs to her budget. And if she can fit everything in, then we get all the goodies. But if not, she'll come back to us and she'll say, okay, I really need for you to identify the things that you need the most. And for my program, I'm always looking for replacing items that have been broken or damaged. That's always my top priority. But if I have the option to just purchase anything fun, I call it fun, new cameras or new microphones, then things like that, then I take advantage to get really, really nice things. Like I was allowed to purchase a teleprompter one year. I wasn't given a price limit, so I looked for something really, really nice. It ended up being about $750, and I was allowed to get it.
Nice.
So next year, I would like to purchase some new lights, and lighting equipment is not cheap either.
Mm-mm.
But that's one of my top priorities. Lights and light bulbs.
Okay.
Those are pretty expensive. And then at the end of the school year, a lot of our budget comes from either the Perkins grant or the technology grant. So
Okay.
after we've done all the spending throughout the school year, if there's any money left, then Tammy will come to us and she'll say, hey, we have this left. We can go ahead and order some things before next year. What is it that you need? Um, Last year, I didn't really need anything. I got the opportunity to get a new interactive board, which is actually more like a television than it is an interactive board. It's on a cart. It's a 72-inch screen. It is really, really nice. And I was really, really excited to get that one. And even after that, she came back and she said, hey, we have about $4,000 more that we can spend. So what do you want to do? So we were able to get a news desk, a professional news desk for when we do our little news broadcast segment.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of how our budget works. Yep.
That's nice. Okay. Yeah, I saw your TV. That thing is huge.
Yes, it is. Still good morning. Sorry. The kids can operate it better than I can. We're wrapping up.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to impact technology implementation throughout your school? And do you have any specific examples?
And Ms. Gibbons. Well, like I mentioned earlier, Miss Standard and I kind of took the initiative with helping teachers at the beginning of the school year prepare for remote learning. And we focus mainly on Google Classroom as well as the use of the Screencastify software.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now, through my specialist program, I am having to do some research on the types of professional learning that we have that cater to the use of technology. So I think in the future, I'm going to be allowed to schedule some professional learnings that will actually be able to teach teachers how to use a couple of types of Web 2.0 tools, which are technology tools in the classroom.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's good. I know that they needed a lot of help at the beginning.
Mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right. Does your school have a technology committee?
Well, we don't have a school-wide committee. Like I mentioned, when we knew that we would start the school year doing remote learning, the district formed a committee that they called the Digital Learning Team. And Miss Standard and I both were pulled to be a part of that team. Um, so we've kind of taken some of the things that we've talked about as a district and incorporated those school wide. We have had the opportunity to meet as a school to talk about how we want to kind of piggyback off of the things that the digital learning team is talking about as a whole. Usually in those meetings, it's our administrators, our instructional coaches, Miss Standard, and myself.
Okay. Um, Now, how are technology decisions made?
Well, I think school-wide technology decisions have I think Miss Standard has been the key person involved in a lot of those decisions. Um, Along with Miss Lambert, because she's involved with a lot of the grant writing and things that happens at the district office. So I think as Miss Standard, who works with our technology, our IT people at the district, Lynn Hopper specifically, as she and Lynn are in communication about the technology needs in the school, then Miss Lambert can kind of take those things in consideration when she's having those conversations about grants and budgets and things of that nature.
Okay. What's the best part of your job?
Oh, the best part of my job, I think, is just spending my day with the kids. I learn so much from them when I have kids that are really, really involved in what I teach. They go above and beyond what I expect and what I ask of them. They do a lot of exploring things on their own. They're always on YouTube looking at something. They're experimenting with different types of video editing software. And they'll bring things back to the classroom and say, "Hey, Miss Lane, have you seen this? Have you tried this?" And a lot of times I haven't, and I just throw away my lesson plan for the day, and I'm like, "Okay, well, this is what we're doing because I need to know how to do this." So I think that's the best part of my day when I get to learn from the kids.
Okay. Yeah, those are really great moments
Yes.
when they become the teacher.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what do you find to be the most challenging part of your job?
I think the most challenging would be the complete opposite. When I have kids scheduled for my course, a lot of times they'll come in because they don't really know exactly what it is, and they think it's somewhere they want to be. And then we start whipping out these cameras and we're filming, and they're like, "Oh wait, but no, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to touch it. It looks expensive. What if I break it?" So trying to break down those barriers, and just the kids who aren't very technologically inclined, that becomes a bit challenging. I end up with ability levels that are from one end of the spectrum to the other, and it gets difficult to teach when you have a very, very beginning student and a very, very advanced student, as it would be in any content area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most challenging part.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, because I just learned you're a very busy lady. But thank you so much.
Yes,
And
you're welcome.
have a good rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.